All right, I have 2 points here. A, it's the point 0.06, and B, the point 13.6. And we're asked, is there a point down here on the x-axis, the point P, that I could connect A, P, B, and get a right angle down here? And the answer is yes, there are 2 of them. But before we find them, I want to point something out to you here. Should have placed papers on the keyboard. All right, I'm going to switch over to. All right, here I have it's a circle. There's a diameter through the circle, and then here's some point on the circle. All right, and you'll notice that the angle down here is always a right angle. So if I cut a diameter through a circle and I make a triangle with some other point that's on the circle, that angle's always going to be a right angle. Right? Or another way of saying it is I can always draw a circle that passes through the 2 ends of the hypotenuse and then that third corner down here, and it's always a right angle. I don't know, different ways of looking at it, I guess. But the trick here is I've got my 2 points, and what I have to do is I have to draw a circle that passes through the 2 points, and the places where the circle crosses the axis will be will make right angles. Okay? So anyways. Just observe that. Again, it's a circle. The diameter, endpoints of the diameter there. I made a triangle by putting some third point on the circle, and it's always a right angle. Okay? So let's go back to our picture here. So I kind of drew that circle in, and you can see down here that the circle does cross through the x-axis at 2 places here. And let's kind of connect those. And there's that. And over here. So there's one right angle. And let's draw the other one in. Let's see here. Okay. And here is the other one. So here we have, we'll call this P1, and that's point 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. And over here we will call this P2. And that would be the point, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay. All right, we'll pause for a second. So now that we have the answer, let's go back and look at kind of how we can get that answer. Remember, we're trying to first get this circle that passes through the 2 points. And then we're trying to draw in that third point on the circle so that it's also on the axis to get that right angle. Right? So right angle, down and up. Now, I set this up so that it would be clearly like nice, easy points to find. And on the one you're supposed to do, it's also going to be nice, easy points to find. But we need to kind of back it up with some calculations. You can't just, guess, I guess. So here's what we need to do. First of all, I got to find the... the point's going to be on this circle, and the point is going to be on the axis. So first we have to find where the circle is. Well, the center of the circle is going to be the midpoint of these 2. So if we were going to find that midpoint, we'll call that M. So M is the midpoint of AB. And that's pretty easy to find, actually. So we'll just go, that's 0 plus 13 over 2, and 6 plus 6 over 2, which gives us 6.5, comma 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 0.5. So over 6.5, up 6. And then, since we know this is a circle, then we would know that there must be some radius of the circle that stretches down to touch the axis, since it crosses through the axis. So we're trying to find over here, I'll kind of draw this in. All right, we know that that point where they touch is, is on a radius. It's the end of a radius of that circle, and we know how big the radius is. The radius is 6.5 units. Okay, and over here for the green one, it's the same deal. Okay. Draw over here. All right, that's also 6.5 units because that's the radius of the circle. So if we want to find out where that is, we're going to have to use a little Pythagorean theorem. If we kind of drew in a right triangle, it goes in over here, we know that this length, because we can just count the spaces, is 6. And if that's 6.5, then we just need to find out how far over this is. We'll call this, I don't know, A on either side. So I have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay. There's A. B is 6. A squared plus 6 squared equals, and C is 6.5. 6.5 squared. So A squared plus 36 equals, get my calculator out here. Actually, it's not my calculator. I stole this from my work neighbor. 6.5 squared is 42.25. 42.25. So let's see, I'll subtract 36 from each side. A squared minus 36, 6.25. And then we'll take the square root of that, second square root, and we get 2.5. Okay. So A is 2.5, going in either direction. So then we would just have to count back. 2.5. All right, so this coordinate here is 6.5, 0. So P sub 1 would be 6.5 minus 2.5, 0. And 6.5 minus 2.5 is 4. And P sub 2 would be 6.5 plus 2.5, 0, which is 9. There we go. So, again, if you don't have the tool for drawing the circle, and you don't necessarily have to draw the circle, the answers to yours are going to be whole number coordinates, by the way, so and you might even be able to eyeball it and kind of figure out where it is after you plot the 2 points. But remember, it's just a matter of Pythagorean theorem. You know what the distance from the center of the circle down to the edge of the circle is going to be, because it's going to be the same as the distance from the midpoint to the edge on each of these. And then you'll know how far above the axis you are, because you can just count spaces, and then it's a simple Pythagorean theorem. C squared take away B squared equals A squared. And again, it's helped out by the fact that the answer you're looking for is going to have whole number coordinates. Okay? All right, there you go.